Is it finally time for Samsung to shake things up with the Galaxy S26 Ultra? Every year, Samsung pushes its Galaxy S series launch a little earlier, and for 2026, there's talk that we might even see the Galaxy S26 Ultra as early as December 2025. That's earlier than usual, with rumors hinting at a pre-order phase in December and a possible release in January 2026. Samsung could be doing this to compete more directly with Apple and grab holiday shoppers. Pricing is expected to stay the same as previous models, which means no major increase at least for now. We're likely to see deals like enhanced trade-ins and free storage upgrades, especially if you buy directly from Samsung or through carriers like Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T. The biggest change might be in the camera department. Leaks suggest Samsung will cut down from rear cameras to 3, keeping a 200 megapixels main sensor, a 50 megapixels ultra-wide, and replacing the previous zoom lenses with a single 200 megapixels for X-zoom camera. This could simplify the setup while still offering powerful zoom features using software tricks. There's also some talk about variable aperture making a return, which adjusts the camera's light intake between two modes. Similar to what Samsung tried back in 2018, it didn't make a big difference back then, but maybe this time, it's been improved enough to matter. On the video side, there's hope Samsung will finally close the gap with Apple by improving stabilization, lighting, and sound. For storage, expect the usual 3 options: 256 GB, 512 GB, and 1 TB. That should cover most users, though there's no sign of a 2 TB model yet. When it comes to design, don't expect big changes. The Galaxy S25 Ultra introduced a flatter, more squared look that will likely continue with the S26 Ultra. However, some users didn't like the thick camera rings, so we might see those adjusted. A hidden selfie camera was rumored, but recent leaks say it's not happening, so we'll probably still see a small punch-hole camera at the top. One big rumor has us a little concerned: the possible removal of the S Pen and its slot. If Samsung does drop the S Pen support, it could make room for features like full chat to wireless charging support, since the S Pen's technology currently gets in the way of the required magnets. Still, we think it's unlikely, but not impossible. For the display, Samsung may stick with the 6.9-inch AMOLED panel, but upgrade its internal layers to cut down screen reflections and boost brightness up to 3000 nits. That would make it one of the brightest screens ever seen on a phone. For the battery, we're still expecting a 5000 mAh unit, since Samsung plays it safe there, especially after Samsung the about to Galaxy launch Note the 7 thinnest issues. foldable phone we've ever seen? Well, based on new renders of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 shared by OnLeaks and Android headlines, that might actually be true. Just by looking at the images, it's clear Samsung is going for a sleeker, thinner design this time around. For some context, last year's Galaxy Z Fold 6 was about 12.1 mm thick when folded and 5.6 mm when unfolded. Now, leaks suggest that the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be just 3.9 mm thin when unfolded, which is a huge 30% reduction in thickness. That's thinner than many tablets and even some smartphones, but thinner doesn't always mean better, because as you slim down the body, some trade-offs show up, like the camera bump. According to these renders, the triple camera system on the back now sticks out even more than before. This is similar to what we've seen from other foldable makers like OnePlus and Google, where a better camera setup comes with a more noticeable camera bump, but Samsung seems to be balancing that by also making the phone wider than before, possibly by over 10 mm compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6. This added width could make typing, multitasking, and watching videos on the internal screen feel more natural. Speaking of the display, when unfolded, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to offer a 7-inch dynamic AMOLED display with a resolution of 1856 by 2160 pixels and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. On the outside, the cover screen will reportedly be 6.3 inches, also dynamic AMOLED, With a resolution of 968 by 2376 pixels and the same 120Hz refresh rate. To protect the outer screen, Samsung may be using Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which helps prevent scratches and minor drops. Now let's talk about performance. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy processor built using the 3nm process, which means better energy efficiency and faster speeds compared to older chips. Alongside this, the device may come with 12 GB of LPDDR5X random access memory and 256 GB of UFS 4.0 internal storage, giving users fast loading and smooth multitasking. It will likely run Android 15 right out of the box, offering the latest features and software optimizations. Powering all this will be a 4,400 mAh battery, with support for 25-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging, which should be good enough for a full day. What if I told you that Huawei just launched a foldable laptop with fans thinner than 2 coins? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what they've done with the new Huawei MateBook Fold, the world's first 18-inch foldable PC. Now, making a foldable screen is already impressive, but Huawei didn't stop there. One of the biggest problems with folding laptops is cooling. How do you stop them from overheating when the space inside is already tight? Well, Huawei came up with something very different, a special cooling setup that includes dual diamond aluminum fans and a 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber. Let's break it down. Richard Yu, the chairman of Huawei Consumer Business, gave everyone a closer look in a recent teardown video. He opened up the MateBook Fold and showed off the insides, from the battery to the screen to the cooling system. But the real star here is the cooling tech. Most laptops use basic fans, but Huawei decided to go with 2 custom fans made from diamond aluminum. Aluminum is already known for being light and great at moving heat away, and Huawei made these fans even more efficient by designing them to be super thin, just 3.5 millimeters together. That's thinner than stacking 2 coins. These fans create a powerful airflow without taking up much space, which is important in a folding device where every millimeter counts. And because they're made of diamond aluminum, they're not only light but also stronger and more resistant to damage over time. Now, let's talk about the 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber board. Sounds complex, but here's what it means. Inside most laptops, when things heat up, a special liquid flows through tiny pipes to help carry that heat away from the main components. But in a foldable PC like this one, that liquid can get stuck, depending on how you're holding or using the device. That's where Huawei's solution comes in. Their 3D anti-gravity design allows the liquid to move against gravity and return to the heat source no matter how the PC is positioned. So even if you're using the MateBook Fold while it's propped up, laid flat, or folded like a book, the cooling system still works the same. They even expanded the cooling pipes from 3 to 4 lanes to make the heat move faster and more efficiently. It's a small change with a big impact, helping the device stay cool without needing extra space or bulky parts. This shows how much thought went into solving a problem that most users might never even notice, but they'll definitely feel the difference when their laptop doesn't get hot after long hours of use. Huawei admitted that heat was a huge challenge during development, but clearly, they cracked it with these 2 upgrades, the diamond aluminum fans and the 3D anti-gravity vapor chamber.